Hi everyone, Nasia Davos here. Welcome to this video. I'm really excited to talk to you today about mind power. Mind power. So you may have heard me mentioning mind power or talking about it a little bit, but maybe you're not sure exactly what it is, how to use it, how it helps you overcome cravings, how it's different from willpower and all those things. So it's absolutely fine if you are new to this, you don't know how to use your mind power to overcome cravings, because mind power as a way to overcome cravings instead of willpower is a new concept that the CBQ method, this cognitive behavioral quitting method, has developed and pioneered. So it's absolutely fine if you don't know how to use it yet. That's what I'm here for, to show you exactly what it is, how to use it, how to overcome cravings easily with it, why it works, and all those things. So mind power, what is it? In a way, it's a different way to overcome cravings that is easy, and it's the opposite of willpower. Willpower is great, but it's not great to create long-term change. It's great to start something. Like, think about it. Willpower is great to get you to wear your running shoes and get out of the house, but you cannot rely on willpower throughout every workout, throughout the year, all your life, because willpower is a finite force. It eventually runs out. And yes, there are ways to make ourselves have more willpower. And yes, there are ways to preserve our willpower by making less decisions throughout the day and not having decision fatigue. Yes, we can do all those things, but this doesn't change the nature of willpower. Willpower runs out. So yes, you can resist 1 or 2 cigarettes with willpower, but can you resist every cigarette under any circumstances throughout all your life? Spending your life worrying about when the next cigarette will hit and what you're going to do about it, and if you're going to feel bad and deprived, this sounds horrible. This is not at all being a happy non-smoker. This is being an afraid non-smoker, or better yet, it's being a smoker who is not allowed to have the cigarettes that they so desire. So this is not our goal here. So willpower is great, but it's not good if you want to create long-term change. It's just not. It feels bad. Because when you're using willpower, and I have many videos on that topic, so I will not stay on it a lot, but when you're using willpower, you want to smoke. You have this wanting, this desire, this craving, this even routine it feels sometimes. You want this, and you go against your desire. You are denying yourself the cigarette you desire. And that's hard. It feels bad, and it's short term because you can deny yourself or you can guilt yourself into not smoking. But if the desire remains, it will surface again, even if that's 1 hour later, 5 hours later, a day, a week, or a month later. If the desire remains, it will surface again. Mind power is the exact opposite of using willpower, and it's easy and it works because with willpower, you want to smoke and you go against your desire. With mind power, you work on the desire. You lower the perceived value of smoking in the moment you're craving. You change your thinking. With mind power, you change your thinking so that you will not want to smoke. So you target the core problem the moment you're having a craving. So for that reason, because mind power is just how you use your mind in a way that serves you, because our mind is so powerful, so powerful. So mind power is just, it's something you already have. You just learn how to use it in a way that serves your long-term goals and your values and your freedom in quitting smoking or in anything you choose to do. So mind power is infinite. You can create long-term change with it, and it's easy. And we all know how it feels like to use our mind power. So it's not just an alien concept in life. We all know what's the difference between, let's say, a food craving or a sugar craving, where you really want to eat that, I don't know, ice cream, let's say, and you start picturing in your mind's eye how it feels like to take the first spoonful and enjoying it and all those things, versus how it feels like to have a momentary craving and then telling yourself, actually, I'm not going to have that. Actually, I'm not that hungry. I don't feel like it. We know the difference between really entertaining a craving and just dismissing it, mentally moving on. So that's mind power. Or the difference between, let's say you're in an argument, you're arguing with someone, or someone said something that bothered you. And we know the difference between playing out the argument in your mind, coming up with comebacks, thinking what you're going to say next time, allowing these thoughts to consume you and make you feel bad, versus telling yourself, it's just not worth it. This person is just not worth it. It's not worth it to ruin my mental health for it. This is mentally moving on. The same thing with smoking. When you are entertaining the thought of smoking and you picture yourself smoking the first puff and feeling relief, and then you have these pictures and you allow it to consume you, and then you come and try to resist all that with willpower, you're going to suffer and it's not going to last. But if instead you dissolve all these thoughts and you mentally move on, I just don't want to smoke, because you changed your thinking, this is mind power. Now, a question you may have right now is how changing your thinking affects the urge and the desire and the craving to smoke and this wanting. Well, this comes from cognitive behavioral therapy that teaches how our thoughts affect our emotions and our emotions affect our behaviors. Every emotion you have is preceded by a thought that created that emotion. Think about it from your own life. Let's say you look in the mirror in the morning while you're brushing your teeth, and you're thinking to yourself, I look good today, I'm having a good hair day, and you have good thoughts about yourself. These thoughts will make you feel good. And when you feel good, you will behave differently, you will hold yourself differently, you will walk more confidently. It will affect how you move your body and how you act. Or if you're watching the news and it's all this negativity, and you start thinking to yourself, worrying about the future and having these negative thoughts, then of course you will feel bad and you will behave differently, you will hold yourself differently, you will have a sad body language, maybe you will lash out to someone else. Our thoughts affect our emotions and our emotions affect our behaviors. And of course, the same applies to quitting smoking, like the CBQ method teaches, because the CBQ method is based on CBT. The CBQ method teaches that you have a craving thought, like, I need a cigarette right now. This is a craving thought, or else a mental craving. I need a cigarette right now. Or if I don't smoke, I will be stressed. And this thought will create the wanting for a cigarette, which will then make you pick up a cigarette and smoke it. So the fastest, easiest, smartest, most effective way to not want to smoke a cigarette in that moment is by changing the thought that created that wanting instead of resisting the wanting. Make sense? That's why mind power just works. You can use all the willpower in the world, but if you don't change your thinking and you don't change how you feel about smoking in that moment, that wanting, that feeling that if I don't smoke, something horrible will happen to me. If you don't change that, it will be really hard to resist the craving. It's just not going to be a good experience. And if it is, you will have the craving shortly after again. It will surface again. So mind power takes practice, like I said before. But if you allow yourself to practice it 3, 4, 5 times when you have a craving, use your mind power. And I will have more videos to explain how to do that. This can change your life forever in every aspect of your life. This is a skill. This is a skill. And I think it's important to say that it's not just tips, because you may have watched my YouTube videos where I share ways to overcome mental cravings, of course, using your mind power. But it's not just a tip or a category of tips, it's a skill, because you have to learn how to become aware of your craving thoughts so you can grasp them and change them. We cannot change what we are not aware of. And if you're a member of the CBQ program, the process, the skill of recognizing and grasping your craving thoughts so you can change them, it starts on day 0, on the welcome module. It starts from the beginning. And even if you're not a member of the CBQ program and you're doing the CBQ method by yourself, going through the 4 quit smoking stages of the CBQ method also teaches you to become more aware of your triggers, your craving thoughts, all those things, so you can then change them. Also, another layer to using your mind power effectively is that a change of your thinking must be supported by a foundational change in your beliefs. Because you can think to yourself, a cigarette will actually not make me relax. But if you don't believe that, if you have not changed the belief about how smoking affects your stress, then it will be just wishful thinking and it's not going to work. So using your mind power is what the 4 stages of the CBQ method teach you how to do a little bit every step along the way. So it's not just a tip. So if you do find yourself in a situation where you have a craving and you're using your mind power, make sure that this is supported by you. Whatever you tell yourself about not smoking in that moment is something that you actually believe. It's something that you believe but you have forgotten to focus on in that moment, and not something like guilting yourself into it or telling yourself, you can smoke later and waiting for the next cigarette, because this is willpower. You're using willpower to reward yourself later with smoking. So this is for this video. I will create more on this. Let me know what questions you have about mind power based on what I just said, so I can answer your questions and give you the right direction so you can use this life-changing concept. Change your thinking. Mind power is taking control of your thinking, because once you take control of your thinking, you can take control of everything. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.